Burn live, burn live, burn live, burn live, burn live, burn live. It's going down, baby. Burning through ashes, trying to make common sense. Burn live, boy. Y'all know what we do. Burn through conversation, trying to ash out some common sense. I appreciate y'all coming through. I'm your host, Capiche. I'm in the building. I don't know why I say CEO race. I don't know why I say that. Ignore that part. But y'all, we came here today for the title that's in the title, but also wanted to discuss this Charlie Clark debate that took host on the podcast. And I haven't seen it fully, but I've just been hearing so much. And from my understanding, I'm not going to agree from what I've been hearing, but hopefully I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're here to break it down, you know what I'm saying, give our opinion, you know what I'm saying. We was also knew Charlie Clark from the outside looking in, you know what I'm saying. We understand that this case right here is big, it's close to a lot of people in the conservative party. We appreciate people putting in your comments in the bottom. We're going to get into this debate real quick. I think I started it off at a good point, you know what I'm saying, to where we pick up. While we're listening to, I will be sharing out the content. Please like, share, do all that YouTube X things. Appreciate you guys. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. It's going to be interesting.
Let's get it.
No, I'm just granting it for the sake of argument.
You should grant it because it's a fact that she presented.
So now it's granted. So what?
What do you mean, so what?
Yeah, so what? What does that prove?
It proves that if his prints were the most degraded amongst 5 of them, you're going to have to explain how that's possible if he's the one that recently fired the weapon.
Yeah, so wait a second. You're saying that it's an impossibility that if his fingerprints are the most degraded,
I'm telling you to explain it. You're the gunsmith.
Well,
so
wait a
explain
second.
it.
How would a gunsmith give an analysis on fingerprints or DNA? Do you think that I work in a DNA laboratory?
So
with
your answer is I don't know. You can just say you don't know.
But
you don't have to.
But I did.
No, you said so what?
Yeah,
so say I don't know. I actually don't have an explanation for that,
prove,
Candace.
Though, is my question.
Well, I think that what it would prove is that it is a more viable theory that people who had stronger prints on the gun may have used it more recently.
Did they say who else had fingerprints on the gun? They
named Matt Robinson explicitly.
Okay.
And this was a part of the testimony where she was speaking about how they got samples of elimination samples from the home of Amber Robinson, Matt Robinson, and Lance Twiggs. Those were the 3 names they named.
So are you saying that Twiggs?
Would you like me to finish my statement?
I just want to make sure I'm clarifying.
I'm trying to finish the answer, but it can't be clarified until the answer comes out of my mouth.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
This was a portion of her testimony where she was explaining how they got elimination samples from the home. And she named Matt Robinson, Amber Robinson, and Lance Twiggs as the elimination samples that she was using. And so she explicitly said, some of them some, so we can assume 2 out of the 3
Mhm.
were their prints were found on the gun. She explicitly named Matt Robinson as someone who had prints on the gun, and then said there were 5 people that they had taken that sample from. And again, what's also relevant here is the earlier testimony, which came from the FBI forensics analyst, I believe it was on day 2, where she said that when you're using those mixtures and those samples and you get up to 5+, it's really hard to make any sort of a determination. So both of those things are relevant. If you can't explain why his prints are the most degraded and you're saying he is the shooter, it's not really a so what. It's an open-ended question that people have a right to pursue. It's not a conspiracy. It's actually proof of my claim that there's evidence that he was set up as a patsy.
That wouldn't prove anything about him being a patsy.
It said it's evidence to support the claim that he could have.
Which, okay, now that part, starting this off, I just wanted to say that I agree with that. Okay, to start off an argument that this would show suspense. If you're the main shooter, your prints should be the most easable to see on a gun. Hands
Right.
down.
No, I agree. I agree. And
So,
that's one of the things that make the conspiracies not even really conspiracies, more so like small truths. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's 5 prints on his gun, and his was the most degradable. Meaning
and
it was let. Go ahead.
I don't know if people understand that Charlie Kirk had a high influence on people voting for Trump. And for him to be around after Trump, you know what I'm saying? That just, people like Mega's gonna be dead when Trump. Well, I say that Mega's gonna be dead when Trump is over and stuff like that. But that movement that Charlie Kirk would have been strongly here after the president would have been gone. So,
I agree. I agree. I agree because I just know Charlie Kirk for debating people.
right,
I didn't know when I first learned about him. I didn't know he was that tied to MAGA or Trump at all.
right.
You know.
And something about the Israel and Hamas war, which I can't wait to the 20. Me personally, I think that fire that y'all are waiting for me to have, that me going hard because there's a lot to say. I mean, trust me, there's a lot to say, but it's hard to say it to like Doc and Jason, because for the simple fact they're not in it as much. They don't see all the fuck ups that's been going on over there with Seattle, and they don't see all the social. Well, I don't know. Maybe Jason might see all the socialists that's are winning these elections, but what they're going on, some of these stuff that they're going on, I have definitely heard Jason not approve upon. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
for that. And I'm like, well, that's what the socialists, you know what I'm saying, is agreeing. Then they'll laugh at me like, ha ha ha. But yet again, uh,
So do me a favor. What is just for the people that might not know, or for
uh-huh.
somebody like myself, what is a socialist?
A socialist is a person who thinks that everybody should be on equal playing fields. There should be no rich and there should be no poor. It should be a utopian type life with no government.
Oh, okay. Because I heard that term a lot, and I'm a little
Yes.
retarded. I ain't gonna lie. I just nodded off, and I don't know what it really meant. But
No, don't say it like that because trust me, I've been watching certain videos to really learn the difference between a socialist and a liberal and then a communist. Like I really just watched a whole video on Hitler and this other guy from Germany to start off, well, really started off the fascist movement.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So understandable when people say, "What is this? What is that?" That it's a lot easier for me to explain what that is, what it would have been like 2 or 3 years ago. Also, seeing their campaign, listening to them campaign, makes it a little bit easier too.
Mm-hmm.
Have been set up
Okay.
as a patsy.
So this is why I said earlier, so what? Because even if it's the case, this doesn't have an explanation for it yet. That doesn't actually give you any evidence in your corner for Tyler Robinson being a patsy.
Okay,
hang on. I didn't cut you off. Right? You would need to actually explain how this would demonstrate Tyler Robinson. This is tied into Robinson being a patsy.
Mhm.
Are you claiming that these fingerprints were Lance Twiggs or that he had any DNA there?
I'm saying that it could be Matt Robinson, it could be Amber Robinson. That sort of information is going to come out during the trial.
How would that tie into the idea that he's a patsy?
Yes,
though?
because if his is the most degraded prints and the information that I shared on my platform is true, that this gun was given to Tyler Robinson
Mhm.
as an heirloom. I had conversation with members of the Robinson family, Twiggs family, both of them. You know,
Okay.
like I said, we're not just dreaming. And if we're having those conversations and they told me that that gun was only given to Tyler Robinson because it was a family heirloom. Okay, so it was his grandfather's gun or great grandfather's gun.
Okay.
I don't remember the difference. I don't remember which one it was. And so he got it because he's the firstborn. So, but he's not much of a shooter, is what I was told. And so he has this because he inherited it, essentially. So if I get something from my grandpa and I put it up on the shelf and I own this, you could see that could be.
How do we get to the patsy part?
Oh, you don't let me ever get to the end of the sentence. So how could we get to the patsy part
Okay,
if I can't
I'll
get
wait,
to the end of
I'll
the
wait
sentence?
patiently till we get to
So
the
that
patsy
could be a
part.
reasonable explanation as to why there was dust in the barrel, because he doesn't often shoot this weapon and he is indeed a fisher. And it could also be a reasonable explanation for why we have Matt Robinson's prints on this. Obviously, Lance Twiggs, even if he has prints on things, they live together. That doesn't really mean anything. But that could demonstrate that somebody took his weapon and put it somewhere. His prints are the most degraded. Somebody else's prints, there's more presence of somebody else's prints. And that could demonstrate that somebody is taking items from his house and putting it into
But it
various
also
places.
could demonstrate nothing. So the problem that you have here is that this is pure conjecture.
No,
This is not evidence that Tyler Robinson is a patsy. It's only evidence that you have conjectured up that, well, if it's the case that these are the more degraded prints, then therefore that means must be patsy because dad's fingerprints on gun.
I didn't say must be
Describe
patsy.
how this actually links in to Robinson being a patsy.
Okay, I just described that for you, so I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you, so I'm going to move on from that. But to just go back to your point about this is not evidence, you can't make that claim because the entire basis for why you think that there's evidence for Tyler Robinson being the person that took the shot
Yeah.
is based off of a hearing under Utah 1102 rules, meaning.
Okay, so you talking about for clarification and being done. Let's let Google real quick or Gemini explain to people what is a patsy. Just for people because stuff like that does bore people when they especially hear words getting tossed around and don't know the true definition.
Right. But why are you doing that? What do you think? You think he's a patsy, or you think he actually is the shooter? From what you know about
The
the case
case.
so far. Yeah.
So far, what I know about the case, I'm on his side because there's no substantial evidence that lead to other things. Things just doesn't add up to the perfect because yet again, this is just such a high profile case. So therefore, everybody want every T to be crossed and every I to get dotted. And yet again, that doesn't happen normal in a case. There's never going to be all the T's get crossed, all the I's. There's going to be always something not adding up. You know what I mean? People
So-
want to go ahead.
So what you're saying is you agree with Andrew Wilson. So you
It's
saying
definitely true that high profile
Go ahead.
the evidence points to Tyler Robinson being a shooter who killed Charlie Kirk, shot him in the neck.
More evidence to that. And from what Candace has been putting out there is for the simple fact she doesn't even believe that he shot it, don't even believe that a bullet even hit the man. Like an object, she says in the beginning of this, you know what I'm saying? Something like projectile is what the word she uses.
Mhm.
So to even think that this was such a hit to where a person can be like, look at her. We couldn't get Trump. We tried to get Trump. How many times it missed?
Right.
Okay, so we got to take Charlie. Or you can think, hey, I'm trying to make my administration be one of the best uh, history well known. So they tried to hit me. I need somebody to take a hit. Uh, I'm finna sit in this room with a bunch of who's gonna take a hit and try to be like, man, I'll make the sacrifice. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I still follow Candace Owens. I don't necessarily believe everything she say. I still follow her. I still watch a lot of her videos, and from the videos, she was saying that not only is Israel in cahoots, but Trump also was in cahoots of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, but she also been saying that. I mean, I'm not knocking what maybe Israel hasn't or has not been doing, alleged, because Israel has things to do with Michael Jackson, Prince, and Kanye
9/11,
West.
everything.
You know, so it's just like okay, but yet again, there's no concrete evidence to say okay, this is always alleged up allegedly, or it's a paper trail that got burned in a fire. So how can
Right.
we just really like you know what I'm saying? It's hard to follow her down the yellow brick road when it's not really a road, it's just a paper. And it's not even you know what I'm saying? You can't even follow the money in this situation. You can't follow the money.
No, I understand. I understand.
That they are doing the exact same thing that I am doing.
Hold
This
on.
is the state.
Hold on. I almost forgot, ladies and gentlemen, the definition of a patsy. What is the definition of a patsy?
A patsy is a person who is easily deceived, blamed for something they didn't do, or used as a scapegoat.
Thank you.
You said you're here to represent the state. Well, did you watch the
Well,
preliminary
no, I didn't
hearing?
say I was here to represent the
The
state.
state's position you think is strong and
No,
convincing.
what
okay?
I'm here to do is represent my own opinion,
You
which
said
is
in
that
your opening
based on
statement,
based on the evidence presented so far by the
the
state,
state has
that I find it
presented
convincing.
evidence
Mhm.
under Utah's 1102
But
rule.
this
Okay, so that's what I want to get established for what I am only been listening to, and I'm only under duress. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on the outside looking in. So yet again, uh, he made this claim only because of what the claim has been putting out there, and he wanted people to back up their claim. Only person that was brave enough to back up their claim was Candace. So yet again, he really doesn't have to show his evidence until they prove their claim. You see what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
you prove your claim, then what he's to do is to debunk why your claim is not valid because A, B, and C or D, E, and F.
But just from what I heard so far and what I know about both of these people, is his claim is well, I can't say that until you say it. But I was gonna
He
say
just
his
said it.
claim is, but that the state has sufficient evidence that Tyler Robinson is the person who
Has
assassinated
enough
Charlie.
evidence to where it's pointed at him to where all these other people or these all these other weird claims out here is irrelevant and just a bunch of he say she say. Like he would have said, most of these people are doing this for clickbait. It's just like me covering this every day. I'm a Charlie Kirk fan, you know what I'm saying? But to cover this every day till I finally start getting generating paper, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like clickbait.
So so so
Huh?
before you finish playing the video, what about the ballistic experts that have already come out and said that the the bullet that they allege shot him, the bullet, the actual
Hmm.
caliber of the bullet, I think it's called a 30-06. I don't know what that is. I'm not a gun
Uh-huh.
person, but ballistic experts have already said that that's impossible. That it would have his neck would almost look like it exploded if he got shot with one of those.
What they call that dude? What's that one assassin? The world best, America's best assassin. That black dude.
His name Nick, ain't it?
Is it
I
Nick?
forget
Yeah,
his name.
Nick.
Yeah.
See, right now I wish I had a clip from him because yeah, he did make a statement close to that for people to hear, and I would like to go into content today and come back to this, but I don't have it. And yeah, he did. I have heard that, but yet again,
But that has to carry some type of weight, though, right? A
carry
ballistic
some type of weight.
expert.
But did he barely miss or did you know what I'm saying? An expert, but don't mean we have killers out here, and I hate to say it like this. You have killers that are upon experts. You know what I'm saying? But yet again, in this incident, you have a rookie, a person that wasn't a rookie, who made an attempt, who luckily made it. Or you just have one of the world best cover up in modern day history.
I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I more so believe the cover up side than what they saying.
You believe that this is one of the world's best cover up in modern
Yeah.
day
I
history.
mean, and that's just based off what the news is saying. They say he shot him on the roof, disassembled the gun, jumped down, walked all the way home, or some shit, some stuff.
Limped
And
home.
I'm sorry,
Limped. That guy,
limped
it's too,
home.
it's too much footage because this guy just limping around the neighborhood.
I mean, it's more footage just come out of him like going to some type of stairwell or something. But I think that's
Hmm.
just for him to just take one shot and disassemble the gun. So even the footage don't even show him disassembling the gun, and he put it in his pants and then just hopped down and limped on home and stopped at Dairy Queen or something. You know, with no gun. Like his pants look normal. Now I don't know what a rifle in the pants would look like, but you know, it all looked just. It's
I
all
mean,
too.
I done been around people that have things in their pants to where it's not noticeable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's no
I agree.
telling when you say all of that, that's not telling this dude been practicing some of this stuff. Like understand that, you know, we're
Did you
seeing
see
a
the
person. Go ahead.
Did you see the part about the text message he was sending his lover?
Yes, yes. But yet again, there's no part in the film, or there's no part to say that this dude panicked or not panicked. Was he
Right.
calm? Did he feel like he was, you know, we don't, we don't know. And yet again, the thing is, that's what she's trying to say. We don't know. But from what
Right.
they're saying in the evidence and what she should be trying to prove is yes, these are substantial reasons why. These are things that you can just so blimmedly look at and be like, you know what, you cannot get past that no matter how you look at it. Common sense.
Right.
Doesn't demonstrate any patsy
No, that's very
behavior.
important because that rule is hearsay. So you can't say at the same time,
Great.
Candace, you're not allowed
Uh-huh.
to. And what that means under the Utah rule, which I'm sure you know, because I'm sure you watched the preliminary hearing and yourself understand what that means, is that the entire hearing was hearsay. It means none of that information that was presented is.
And then if he's so guilty, I guess this is another thing. If he's so guilty, right? Why is we going to trial?
You said, why is we going to trial?
Yeah.
It's not on I mean, it's up to him to decide if you want to go to trial or not, right?
If I
Do
so
you want
I'm
a bench
asking
trial?
you,
Do you want a bench trial or you want a jury trial? Like when I went to jail, that's what they asked me. You want a bench trial or a jury trial? You know?
a bitch. So jury is people. What is a bitch? Just a judge
The,
only?
yeah, the bench trial is the judge deciding your faith.
I guess I would always want a jury over a judge. More is
And
better
that's
than one.
and most people take a jury because they want the more than they want the what is it 12
Yeah.
12 over 12 over the one.
12 over the one, the odds.
going to be allowed, the majority of it, the overwhelming majority of it is not going to be allowed at the trial. They're allowed to present when it's just a probative
I
hearing.
don't think all the evidence that was put in was hearsay.
Okay, you didn't watch this case.
But not only that,
no, this is a huge point. This
I
is,
want to.
this
Well,
is crazy
we
that you
can
don't
call
know
for
this.
a fact check if
Yes,
all the evidence
we need
was
more than a
put
fact
in.
check. This was every single
The team
day.
in the back is
Utah
actually
Rule
saying they want to
1102.
go there. So they
This is what I've been waiting to hear about this fact checking shit. Like, how is this gonna go down?
said there's a medical examiner's explanation of the shooting that's in the back. Rob, if you want to pull it up, and then Candace, if anybody from your team wants to pull something up, no problem as well, but they're requesting it. If you guys got it, pull it up so we can show it. And in the interim, is that it?
Yeah. So I'll read this.
Just what are we looking at, just so we know?
Yeah. So this says the bullet, or at least part of it, sequentially perforated the interior left of Mr. Kirk's neck, strap muscles of the left side of the neck. This is a summary, by the way. Left common cartoid on the left internal external jugular veins. The bullet also obliterated the left side C27 vertebrae, transacted the cervical spinal cord. Medical examiner observed a significant portion of Kirk's cervical spinal cord was traumatically absent. Mr. Kirk suffered from other severe injuries, including bilateral, apical, and posterior intercostal hemorrhages, pulmonary, apical hemorrhages, multiple disruptions to the thyroid, et cetera, et cetera. So the summary of the examination is that he was shot.
Okay.
That was what they were pulling that up for.
Okay. And I'm not disputing that he could have been hit with a projectile. We're not disputing that. So I don't know why this was brought up as a fact check.
Yet again, projectile.
Could you bring up 1102 Utah Rule? Because this is an unbelievable point that you're making by saying that I am not allowed to infer off of evidence.
You can infer. I'm trying to follow the inference.
But your entire reason, like you asserted that you believe there's overwhelming evidence on the basis of what we saw in the preliminary hearing. The entire preliminary hearing was hearsay.
Yeah, I'm fine with your inferences.
But no, you just literally said I couldn't do that. Yes, I can.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying from your inference, how do we get to Patsy?
This is how you got to Shooter. The Tyler Robinson did it.
No,
the same way that you got to Tyler Robinson.
From that.
Yes, you did. You again, this is something important. So we should pull up a fact check about what the 1102 Utah and under their constitution, for the sake of a preliminary hearing, they do not have to have hard evidence. They don't have to put people on the trial.
They don't have to.
But no, that's why the entire hearing was basically hearsay. Officer Bagley
but
was
not
saying,
all of it, like I said.
The overwhelming majority.
Again, no dispute.
Outside of the one that you don't want to give. Please don't cut me off. Though. Outside of that is what's in dispute. It means that your entire.
So why don't she stop? So what is in dispute? What are you disputing? Instead of telling him, yeah, this in dispute, and he's saying no, it's not. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I really don't understand that part of it, but I think for the most part, she was just saying, she was just trying to explain the discrepancies in the.
That under the title law, that you do not have substantial evidence. You can have her say, she say, be enough evidence to put into this case to move to trial. And she's saying that majority of the evidence that was put into this trial are hearsay.
Yeah, it was. She said the majority of it is hearsay, but I think her point she was trying to prove is that's how Andrew Wilson got to the point where he think Tyler Robinson did this. It's all based on hearsay.
Right.
I think she was just trying to say that was the point to how he got to the point that he thinks Tyler Robinson did this. Because in my opinion, now I like Candace Owens. I do like Candace Owens. I'm not going to act like I don't. I agree with her. But like as far as how the evidence is presented and make it seem like it's 100% proof that Tyler Robinson did this. I don't agree with that at all.
Brand of saying you don't have evidence falls apart when the entire preliminary hearing is based off of hearsay. In fact, Lance's testimony before they had about an hour debate, actually maybe it was more than an hour debate before he sat, and they said this is not going to be allowed. You wouldn't even be allowed to do this. We'd be able to cross-examine him. The questions that they're asking Lance are all leading. And what did he say? Well, I'm the magistrate under Utah Constitution, 1102. It is my job to allow all of this so we can see if the state has enough here that we can then move to a trial, which will then They would not allow this stuff. They would say we get to cross-examine Lance. Lance
But
just
you're
can't
arguing
willy-nilly
things I'm not
say,
disputing.
but the entire substance of your argument is that people can't infer off of evidence.
No,
That's what you're saying
it's
to
not.
me. When you say Candace,
Here,
you
I'll
can't
give you
talk
the
about the degraded
argument.
print.
Thank you. That's what I've been wanting her to just admit real quick, real fast, so she can get to either shutting him up or being incorrect. You see what I'm saying?
But what is it you've been wanting her to admit that you can't?
What he's
infer?
going to finally explain.
Okay.
What is the dispute that he's actually arguing? What are you arguing against?
Okay, I got you.
Which is a
Now,
fact.
Yeah, I'm not
and then
saying
infer
that.
off of that
Didn't say that.
Tyler could have been a patsy.
You're just
I am telling
literally
you,
making stuff up. So here's
I'm not
what the
making stuff
position
up.
is.
I'm
I'm
not making
asking
stuff
this.
up.
It's not the fact that you're see. This is what I don't think people are saying that I'm saying. You can go down your whole list, right? Which is cool. You know what I'm saying? You got all your ducks in a row. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you not understanding his argument. And it's to the point to where we done lost focus of his argument because she done went on a 2-minute rampage. So right now would be a good time to let him clear up his argument side of what he's truly mean, and then you can re-break it down and see like, yes, that's what I said, that's what I meant, or clarify. You got to hear the argument for you to make the argument.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
I'm
I have
saying
Rule 1102
that
ready
I
if you
thank
want
you.
to
Let's
read it.
pull that up. Let's pull that up. I am
1102.
doing
From the
exactly what the
inference.
state did. I am
Okay.
looking at a piece of evidence, and I am saying.
But you're not showing me how you get there
Can you
from the
describe to the
inference.
audience what Rule
Yes.
1102
So this,
means?
just so everybody who's watching this at home understands what I am saying, even if he doesn't. What Andrew is arguing is that I don't have the right to extrapolate from
Never
a
made that
fact
argument.
like
Just making it up.
yeah,
Just purely making it up. I'm asking based on
Andrew.
based on
Can I
your
show my
inference.
evidence? You just showed yours. Reliable hearsay.
You'll get a chance.
Reliable hearsay in criminal preliminary examinations. The entire preliminary hearing that you just saw was on the basis of reliable hearsay. And what that means essentially is the people who are making the statements can just say, Patrick told me that he did this on Monday. Patrick's not here. And that is, they can allow that into the hearing. That's just because it's just meant to be probative. And so it's the state saying, here's what we have inferred. So you are allowed to take a piece of evidence and then you are allowed to infer off of that evidence. Okay. Case in
Thing
point, that's a
nobody's
demonstration that's a demonstration of what I just did. I said the prints were the most degraded off of Tyler Robinson. And from that, what I am inferring is that it's plausible that Tyler Robinson was set up.
That doesn't.
Okay.
That's the point in contention.
That's not a point in contention. That's
the
that's-
point in contention.
It's not a point in contention. If you're saying it's a
It
point,
is the point in contention.
it's not the point in contention. I'm telling you that was what the entire hearing allowed for. So the evidence that he is
Great, but
describing,
we're asking you
that
now.
he is using to
Mhm.
argue his case, is all based on inference, not fact.
Great.
Inference, not fact.
We're
So what they are
just-
inferring off of the
Mhm.
facts.
So again, we're going to take this, and I'm just going to even grant it because it's irrelevant. I'm asking how you get to the inference that even if you dispute that piece of evidence, that means Patsy. I'm looking for the logical chain for how you get to that inference.
What I am telling you is it's the exact same way that when you tweeted, I think that this evidence is overwhelming. When they say that looks like Tyler Robinson's car, he drives a similar car. Okay. They are inferring that that's Tyler
Can
Robinson.
you walk me through the inference
The
so that I
infer-
understand?
It's not a fact. It's not a fact. When you show a blurry image, which you kept citing that we
No,
have
I'm
images.
talking about your inference that the fingerprints, even if they're degraded, equals Patsy. How do you
I
get
didn't say
that
it-
inference?
I didn't say it equals Patsy. I think it is enough evidence that it should be explored, which is exactly what this preliminary was in the
but
inverse.
That's not what in dispute. What's in dispute is when you said, I'm using this as evidence that he could have been a Patsy. I'm asking, how do you get the inference to Patsy from that?
Because what I am saying is that it shows that somebody else had more DNA presence on that gun than Tyler Robinson did. So it is plausible, which is all they're doing. They're presenting plausibility based off of the facts.
Mhm.
Okay. It is plausible that somebody just took his gun and put it there. That's it.
Is there equally
That's how it works.
and is there equally 100 other plausible explanations?
I think that's the reason why most people are exploring when things don't make sense.
Got it.
So,
So-
yes, at the beginning of that, this is how the court process works.
So
Just so we're clear,
if
this
there's
is the
100 other
state's evidence,
plausible
and they're
explanations, then Candace, why is it that we should go with this idea that it was a patsy?
I'm not saying that we should go with the idea that it was a patsy. I am saying that there is
Oh, I
Just-
thought that was the whole defense, your whole claim
no.
today.
My whole claim was that there is more evidence that he is set up as a patsy.
How does that equal evidence of patsy?
I don't know how many times I can say this. Like I'm saying that I am using the exact same mechanism that you are
Mhm.
accepting for some reason in the Utah courtroom.
Yeah.
Right. To say, I'm going to look at the evidence and I'm going to infer an alternative theory. So you just saw the states and you're accepting it. And they have not presented any concrete facts. You listed on your own Twitter that what you found to be convincing was
How do you, under your own ideology and the stuff they presented during the preliminary hearing, would call this dude a patsy? Getting thrown under the bus.
No, I honestly, I think what she mean by that is like,
Because of the law.
no, she's saying the term patsy, but I think she just mean like, maybe we should look all the way into it, because if it's 5 different DNA profiles on the gun, and his is the most degradable, maybe we should look more into it.
So, which is okay, cool. So by the time that the shooting and by the time they actually caught him, of course, something's been done and talk and temper. You want to clean things up.
something that looked like his car pulled into the driveway, a blurry image.
No, I didn't.
The standard white guy coming up the steps that could literally be anyone.
This never happened.
Can
You
we get a fact check on that? Can we pull up his tweet where he goes over
I didn't
the
say
four?
that's what convinced me.
When you actually didn't say it's what convinced me, but you said
Right.
this is the evidence that you found to be overwhelming, and you named, I believe, actually 5 things. I think you said it was his car. You said it was.
Well, there's multitudes of things that I find.
You
to
just
be
said you didn't
compelling
say it, so we're going to
evidence.
get a fact check on that. You
Sure.
did.
Go ahead.
You said the blurry images coming up the steps. Quite literally, when
Mhm.
Officer Bagley testified, they talk about when I'm talking about making inference. This is the most I thought was the most absurd testimony I've ever heard. And pardon me, it was actually Hull, David Hull. They asked him a question: how did you know the guy in the maroon shirt was the same as the guy that came up the stairs later that was wearing the American flag black shirt? And he said, they're wearing the same shoes.
Why is that absurd?
That's how you decided these two are the same people. Oh, wow. What a scientific. They're both wearing Converses. Okay. That's an absurd thing to say. That is not evidence that these are the same people if we're both wearing Converses. That was what he said. That's what flew on the stand.
But I still don't understand how that would be absurd. If somebody,
It's an absurd thing.
for instance, if somebody were to change their clothes but keep the same shoes on, wouldn't you utilize the shoes to try to track that person? If
The
they were changing
idea
their
that on a
clothes?
college campus, 2 people wearing this totally different outfits, but both wearing Converses can't happen is such an absurdity that I don't even need to argue that. I'm just going to let people deal. But why is it
Okay.
absurd? Just concede that point. Obviously, it's an absurd
I
thing
don't.
to say.
I'm not
I know
sure.
these are the
I'm
same
not sure
people
in
because they're both
context-
wearing Converse.
Yeah, I'm not sure if in context that's what happened. But
It
even
is.
if it
You
is,
can get a fact check on
but
it.
even if it is, again,
And it was
if
Hull.
we're utilizing inferences, whenever we're dealing with logic and we're dealing with making a logical inference, we're going to take the entire collaboration of evidence and then we're going to make inferences from that. You would do that with any type of logical proposition. Otherwise, you could never have a true or false claim.
But you just told me I couldn't.
So
do
when
that.
that never happened. You're just making stuff up. So anyway, when we're talking about logical inferences, what I'm looking for is the logical inferences that you have that Tyler Robinson's a patsy based on the totality of evidence that you have.
We can keep going through your other evidence, but we should find
Yes.
his tweet where he lists the reasons that he was convinced.
So let's start with the 30-06. I think that's fine.
Your team's looking for. Do you remember how long?
Ain't that what you wanted to hear?
Because it don't make sense. It don't make sense, man.
And then what you want to hear the 30-06.
It don't make sense.
Well, that was.
the tweets of the 5. Did you delete it or no?
No,
Did
I
you
don't
delete
delete
any
tweets.
Okay, cool. Just look for. He said
Unless I
it was his
misspell.
car. It was his. It was the car, and it was definitely the staircase photos, and it was when the trial was
Okay,
going
she
on.
has it. Perfect.
She has
If you got Skylar has it. If you want to pull it up so we can see
Fantastic.
it.
Somebody said, so give me the clear evidence right here. I want you to provide it right here. All I heard from the investigator was, we believe this to be Tyler Robinson. Is belief something you go as a fact? You wrote the car pulling in. That's a totally blur image. Robinson getting out of it. You have no idea if that's Tyler Robinson. The fact that he is seen 4 other times on camera, the fact being just a standard white boy with brown hair was seen walking up staircase. The DNA on the roof, we should discuss that. And on the screwdriver that he left behind, it's overwhelming, man.
Yeah, but that's not an exhaustive list.
Well, just so we're clear, you did tweet it.
But it's not an exhaustive.
Yeah,
well,
but just
you
5
said
seconds ago, you should concede.
You said I only said this one thing and said that was overwhelming, actually.
That's not what I said.
It is. You could even
Patrick,
pull your
did
own
I
clip.
say that?
Can you fact check if that was said or not? I did not hear her say
So the
this.
thing is funny here is like we still aren't getting to any of these inferences. So
Why are you pivoting?
so
but
the-
just say
well,
you
I'm
were
not.
wrong.
I'm
It's cool
gonna-
to just say I was wrong. I can say it.
I'm not wrong. So back to the tweet aspect here. It was really funny. That's not an exhaustive list of why I find it.
I didn't say it
overwhelming.
was exhaustive. I just said you said it.
And on top of well, no, you didn't. You said that I only said this
Peace.
one thing, and then said based on that it's over. Well, I didn't.
I
What up?
gotta get ready and go. I gotta get ready and go.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to do a part 2 to this.
Yeah, we definitely is, because I definitely need to voice my opinion on it. You feel me?
Yeah. Until next time, y'all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Anytime you're watching this, appreciate you guys stopping through. I'm your boy Capiche, kick ass Nick in the building. We out. Peace.
This motherfucker is locked.
Talking, I'm in love with